intricacies of coming forward early in this match will tell a lot.
Connor Garnett looking for his 3rd title of the year. Nice. Groundie for the win on Rafa Hewett's side.
Oh yeah, I mean it was perfectly set up with the two-handed backhand.
0-0.
Stripes one, point one.
Oh, another one.
Point.
I mean, the man is playing confident ball. He has a win in this tournament, 11-6, 11-2 against Tyson McGuffin, and then 11-5, 11-2 against a very hot Grayson Golden. So playing at the peak of his powers is Rafa Hewett.
Wide open corner for the Tui on the approach for Connor Garnett. Shot he has patented and mentioned. 2 gold medals Connor Garnett has clinched this season, 1 in LA and 1 in Kansas City a couple of weekends ago. That tournament in LA was one of the last times these two met. It went to 3 in the first round. Ooh. And Connor Garnett barely survived that 3rd game against Rafa Hewett. Or back in Arizona, rather, it was 12-10, but in LA, 11-6 was the final.
0-1.
Great control of the kitchen line. One on the forehand side, then the backhand side from Rafa Hewett. And both players comfortable and familiar with each other, as Connor Garnett would go practice up in Coeur d'Alene with Tyson, and Rafa would drive up often to practice with them. So these guys know exactly what they're going to get from each other. The patterns and that chess match of staying 1 step ahead is going to be paramount in this one. Slight miss hit on the forehand approach shot from Connor Garnett. Points hard to come by early in this one. Rafa just pulling off that two-handed backhand. Got down nicely, good knee bend. Just came out of it at the last second, forcing the error.
0-1.
Wow.
Just a beauty. The spin created by Connor Garnett on that ball, as that had a good bit of margin for error and net clearance. And by the time it gets to Rafa Hewett, it's right at his feet.
Oh. Epic point. Great get by Rafa Hewett when fire meets fire on the Tui to the Tui.
Tui to the Tui. I mean, that pattern's going to happen a lot in this match.
Point.
A slight miss hit, very high and deep return from Rafa Hewett, stays back, but he was at a deficit in that point and couldn't dig out of it.
3-1. Point.
Miss hit on the forehand side from Rafa Hewett. Mutters something under his breath, but not thrilled with these last handful of points.
4-1.
4-1 lead for Connor Garnett.
Overcooks that one too, does Hewett. Over on grandstand right now, new name on the women's singles side, taking on Judith Castillo. It is Mariana Petre out of Italy originally, and she took out Leah Jansen in round of 32 in a 3rd game right now. Over on grandstand.
One-five. Side out.
Again for Rafa Hewett.
Yeah, Connor Garnett should just continue to find a reasonable ball and come forward, as the passing shots of Hewett started hot, but they've been fading quickly.
Side out.
Almost looked like Connor Garnett thought he had him around the post. He definitely didn't, but it threw off his rhythm on that up the line approach shot.
Side out.
And with Rafa Hewett staying back also, it kind of allows Connor Garnett to pick the shot that he wants to come forward.
5-1.
So he's been coming forward quickly often, but a couple times he's hung back and had that luxury of coming forward on his terms.
Wow. Perfectly constructed point again for Connor Garnett.
Yeah, it was not poor volleys from Rafa Hewett at all up at the kitchen line, but I do think that Rafa is going to need to come in at some clip.
10-1. Point.
What a great shapely forehand there from Connor Garnett as that ball lands just about an inch or two from the baseline, and Rafa Hewett tries to take that ball on the rise. Very tough shot to pull off.
Right out.
Serve for Connor Garnett.
That's 2 now for Connor. He has had some service issues pop up months ago, and they have been cleaned up nicely the last handful of tournaments, but we must continue to monitor that situation.
Perfect point for Rafa Hewett.
Yeah, and I like I said, I like that. He did the same thing a couple points ago, and he got passed. That's okay. You know, if Connor's passing him every time, issues, but you know, coming forward around half the time, if not more, from Rafa Hewett, I think is the recipe for success. I love Connor. He's so great. He just kind of took a long look at it, kind of shook his head. Yep, that one was wide. I'll just go back and return serve now.
Point.
That's a really nice approach shot. As that ball was very linear.
Still felt like it was going to pay off, and now
4-7.
curious to know if it did in your eyes.
And you kind of have that tax of implementing something new. So you tweak your technique a little bit. Sometimes you actually have a dip in level before you get the full benefit of that tweak. So maybe we'll get a chance to ask him. We'll just have to see.
Wow, such a good recovery from Rafa Hewett, but Connor Garnett, one of the fastest guys on tour.
Yeah, effortlessly fast too. He just kind of glides to the ball, just kind of swats at that forehand and just places it perfectly across.
Side out.
Ooh.
Looking to cut another forehand. I believe maybe not a full-on drop volley, but he was definitely trying for a sharp angle, was Connor Garnett.
It's deep for Rafa.
Side out.
Just that ability of Connor to go to all the spots with the backhand. He can roll it cross court, he can rip it cross court, he can take it up the line, and Rafa Hewett right there was looking for the cross, just a little off balance, and missed the volley.
Point.
And now that carries over to a missed return, and Connor Garnett in commanding position in game 1.
Wow. How? Oh, that is too good from Rafa Hewett. And Connor Garnett maybe wanted to call that one.
Yeah, Rafa Hewett saying he looked up for the overhead and lost the ball a little bit. He hit the overhead very well and then hit the winner very well too. So I'm not sure what went on, but after I said Connor Garnett in a commanding position, Rafa gets the side out, and now another point on the board for him.
High ceilings here at the Salt Palace Convention Center, nestled into downtown Salt Lake City.
5-9.
A lot of room to play with. You obviously would prefer that as a player, to have as much.
Oh, he missed it. Wow, what an athletic point from both players. And yes, Michelle, defensive lobs are often a big issue when you're indoors, but not here. I mean, I'm not positive. I'd say 40 feet are the ceilings, so plenty of room to work with, just like you said.
Point. Timeout receiver, 7-9.
Another point for Rafa Hewett, and scoreboard pressure officially applied. Federico Staxrud on Sunday's championship final. Connor Garnett doing line sprints at the kitchen.
I mean, literally wind sprints back and forth as the cross-court passes from Rafa were very quality throughout that point, but Connor just finds a way to get a paddle on the ball.
9-7. Side out.
Trouble at the third.
Yeah, that was an awkward swing. Connor Garnett good at keeping that ball in the strike zone, especially on the backhand side. Not that time.
Just barely missed it. Hewitt within one.
And an eruption of an emotion from Rafa Hewett. He feeds and he thrives on that emotional play.
And a tie game at 9 apiece. Round them up, Rafa.
Rafa hits, you know, back-to-back huge winners, and he's frustrated because he thought that Connor was in the kitchen. So, yeah, I mean, he's an emotional guy. I mean, he just is, positive and negative. You know, that's no, not good or bad. That's just what it is, Michelle.
9-9. Side out.
Rafa Hewett was there down at the court in confusion.
After all that, to have an approach shot opportunity and not put a good swing on it was tough.
Garnett with a chance to claim a game point here. It's wide.
Point.
Just kind of guided up the line.
Game
The
point.
approach from Connor Garnett, but got it done.
Point number 1 for
10-9.
Connor Garnett. Great response from Rafa Hewett. Saves one.
Yeah, Rafa's doing a great job of tracking down those tennis volleys. And what I mean by tennis volleys is the slice on the one-handed backhand and the forehand of Connor Garnett at the kitchen.
9-10.
I'd like to see Connor swing through the ball more frequently if he gets a chance.
Side out.
Hewitt gives it right back. Game point number 2 for Connor Garnett.
Game point. Ten 9.
The forehand was gestured at the game point, and Rafa Hewett saves another.
Well, Connor listened to me, and he swung through 2 backhands nicely with topspin, but Rafa had the answer.
9-10.
Firefight at the kitchen. Connor Garnett not only survives it, punches it through.
Oh, you gotta love the singles firefight, as that was a clear-cut
Game point.
decision from Rafa Hewett at the start of that point to attack the body
10-9.
of Connor.
Point game, 11-9.
Connor Garnett will take it. 3 game points to get it done, and game 1 is his, but a great fight by Rafa Hewett to close.
Yeah, yes it was. That cross-court dipping backhand from Connor Garnett paired with the up the line on the next shot. Just a bit too much from Rafa Hewett. Great pattern from Connor, great game from Connor.
Lots of twoies and lots of fun. Joining us, it was once 7-1 in game one and 8-4 as well. And Rafa Hewett had a late comeback, almost tied it up, but Connor Garnett saved it to take it. Now point number one of game two will go on the side of Rafa Hewett. Call from Rafa Hewett.
Yeah, and he's not even playing that at his opponent. He's doing that for himself. Like he needs that.
All Rafa Hewett for a 5-0 performance so far in game two.
Ooh, Connor didn't like it. He threw the ball over in the corner. So that could be from Rafa going at the body twice, or the previous point where Rafa said, you know, that's out very loudly. But there's something going on here.
Side out.
Good look on the forehand up the line from Rafa. Somehow Connor was going to be there had it gone over, but it doesn't.
0-5.
Another retouch from Connor Garnett. Smart play.
Yeah, nice job of Connor dropping it right there, and Rafa Hewett, you know, full sprint. He has to be a winner right there, as if he's able to get that ball back in play, Connor's going to have it covered into the open court.
Wow.
Side out.
Yeah, that's painted on the line with a flat two-handed backhand from Rafa Hewett. But some of that jovial, smiling type style of Connor Garnett has evaporated, and you know, some of that could be with the score line, but also some of the demeanor of his opponent as well.
Side out.
I'm for a happy match, and I'm for a chippy match as well. So
all the above.
All matches have different styles and ebbs and flows during.
1-5.
That was maybe an ball that Connor Garnett hit. Right in the backhand side. Shanked it.
5-1.
It's out to 6-1 lead now for Rafa Hewett.
Yeah, great job from Rafa Hewett coming forward. Nice approach shot from him. I think possibly first half of game one, he would have pulled off and stayed back at the baseline. So I really like what Rafa's doing.
Point.
He's taking a page out of Matt Wright's book, as he is thrown at about 6 that's outs in game two, and that is the difference in the score as well.
So that's the answer here for Connor Garnett.
Yeah, he's got to find a way to hit a cleaner ball, and I think possibly going a little bit bigger earlier in the point for Connor could work in his favor, because when Rafa was staying back, Connor could just kind of hit some solid but unspectacular deep shots and then wait for a good one to come in. So if Rafa's beating him forward and coming forward at a higher clip, then Connor going a little bit bigger earlier in the point to seize control of it could be a good option for him.
Lung and Connor Garnett are teammates in Major League Pickleball for the Utah Black Diamonds. Also have played men's doubles together as well on the PPA side.
Timeout.
Receiving some instruction.
No timeout.
Sure, he said something of the lines that you just mentioned.
I'm going to ask you fans with the Picklers, please keep them down during play, distracting to the players. Thank you.
Howard's on it.
Time in. 7-1.
Great anticipation by Connor Garnett.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that does pair well with those tennis volleys with slice, is the ability to go with the drop volley short into the court.
Oh, just G.
Crazy hands down at his feet from Connor Garnett to even put a paddle on that ball. But a good foot long.
7-1. Point.
Again, so much pressure from the ground from Rafa Hewett, 8-1.
8-1. Side out.
Rafa, good look. That forehand up the line, that was a great shot for him a couple weeks ago in PPA Kansas City, where he was able to take out Christian Alshon. So.
Nice roll. Rafa Hewett throws his hands up, maybe was
it was
off the tape or not as clean as.
It was a funky bounce. I like what Rafa did. He kind of went with mid-pace to push that ball up the line with two hands.
8-1.
But the ball definitely did not come up for Connor.
Point.
1 lead.
This is a
Rafa Hewett.
wild turn of events, Michelle.
Yeah, it is. Stunning.
9-1.
Rafa, I mean, playing great. And it kind of started in the middle second half of game 1 and has carried over into game 2. Wasn't able to get game 1 because the deficit was too large.
Point.
Number 2, Grayson Golden, who Rafa took out in the quarterfinals, was the player that knocked out Jack Sock. So no easy feat, as you mentioned, to get to this point for Rafa. Ooh, breaking ankles out there is Connor Garnett.
Yeah, it was kind of a wild reset when Rafa slapped the ball and it hit the tape, but Connor Garnett stays strong in that point and finds the angle.
Oh, how about that ATP from Rafa Hewett?
Oh, I thought there was no way that he had the angle.
Connor Garnett was clarifying that it went around and not through.
Yeah, one of the issues with that side spin, and on that replay, the angle was definitely there, but the vantage point in real time. Great shot either way from Rafa Hewett.
Side out.
Yeah, missed that one, but Rafa, he's got a beat. He's kind of on some of those shorter volleys, whether they're full drop shots or more into the midcourt. So it's a good anticipation adjustment from Rafa.
Point. Four 9. Side out.
Solid approach from Rafa up the line. But even throughout that point, I think some of those Connor Garnett ground strokes were not necessarily hit with as much purpose as we've seen. So landing a bit shorter in the court, not hitting the court and moving through and putting pressure on Rafa.
Wow, a couple of whips from Rafa Hewett for a game point.
Game point.
His torque when he whips through with that two-hander. Great use of his legs, his core, and his hips. Just strikes it with so much pace.
10-4.
Was there just trying to get a little too cute?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what happened, Michelle. He was there even quicker than he was expecting.
4-10.
Oh, Connor Garnett lets it go. A bit of off-speed works for Rafa Hewett. Game point number 2.
Game point.
Connor Garnett kind of motioning that he should have hit that ball as he feels like he could have. He was letting it go on purpose.
10-4. Side out.
Rafa snatches the hat off of his head. Can't believe he missed the cross-court forehand pass. Got a nice cushion, though.
That Adidas paddle, one of the only
4-10.
Adidas sponsored players.
Point.
Set that one into the net.
Yeah, that's tough to happen there. I mean, clearly a good serve from Connor Garnett, but you can't
5-10.
put that poor of a swing on the return.
Tournaments are a fun and exciting way to grow your game. Connect with other players and stay active in the welcoming pickleball community. Whether you're a seasoned player or looking to try your first tournament, we have a place for you.
No timeout.
Welcome back, Rafa Hewett with a new grip and a new t-shirt.
Time in.
Rappers will take the free press.
6-10.
Connor Garnett gathering points. Rafa Hewett with 2 game points prior to this. And another dropper from Connor Garnett. He's within 3.
A better approach shot. Started that point nicely from Connor.
Kevin 10. Point.
And another. It's a 2-point swing.
8-10. Point.
And a little spraying right now off of the paddle of Rafa Hewett. Missed return, the latest culprit.
9-10.
Chance to tie it here for Connor Garnett. Rafa Hewett perseveres.
Yeah, that is 3 or 4 huge shots from Rafa Hewett. I love how Connor Garnett set up that point. Nice approach, nice volleys, just too much court coverage and quality ground strokes from Rafa Hewett. He needed that in a big way.
Game point number 3. Big serve, and that will earn a missed return. To a 3rd game we go. What a performance by Rafa Hewett in game number 2.
Yeah, it's tough also when you have that commanding lead and your opponent creeps back into it to stay resilient and tough and get the W in game 2. Very well done from Rafa Hewett.
A dramatic game 3 coming your way next from Salt Lake City, Utah.
Let's see if Rafa Hewett can
0-0.
continue to find times to come forward in game 3. Rafa trying the body once again. I believe he's tried it 3 times, and he's 1 for 3 on those attacks up at the kitchen line. It's a pretty popular play in singles. Sometimes you get stuck. It's the only place you can go.
Nice.
Side out.
You don't see someone wave the Cobra on the backhand side very often. That's exactly what we saw from Rafa Hewett. Look at this. Little shoulder waggle. Nice deception from Rafa.
Point.
So expressive. After every single point won is Rafa Hewett.
I mean, this is a huge moment, Michelle. I mean, to make it to a championship Sunday in men's singles on the PPA Tour.
1-0.
Wow, just a huge backhand from Rafa Hewett and a
Side out.
awesome first volley from Connor Garnett. And Connor Garnett's approaches, hitting them crisp and with purpose, is going to be a big factor in game 3 also. See, he just kind of guided that to the open court. I would really like to see him rip through. I mean, he doesn't have to necessarily hit that ball at 100% pace, but you can't pull back and guide the ball in these big moments. You
1-0.
must make sure that you're striking through.
It's deep.
That was like 6 inches.
I
out.
don't. I mean, feel free to challenge it.
I think Connor even said that. Go ahead and challenge it, man. He's kinda,
He could be an actor, though.
yeah, he's chuckling over to us. Got a little wry smile on his face. Did Rafa Hewett up to the booth.
Trying to sell it to all involved.
Yeah, that's right.
Jeez.
Wow.
Too good.
And a huge play from Connor Garnett. Started it off with the lob serve. And Rafa Hewett comes all the way to the kitchen line and then gets forced back to the baseline. You rarely win the point when you're up at the kitchen and get pushed back.
Feels like his momentum was halted by the carpet.
Yeah, it's
Outside of the court. Nice.
that is huge, and that is flat too. Not a lot of margin. Margin's so important, especially in singles. Having a bit of net clearance, you know, you don't hit the ball perfectly, you still have a shot. Tries the cross court after the up the line. Couldn't come up with that one. 1 out of 2 ain't bad.
One. Point.
An approach shot struck with a little more purpose from Connor Garnett. Just inside the sideline. Always want to force Rafa Hewett to be off balance.
2-1. Point. Three, 1.
Years since Rafa Hewett has made it to a final. Oh, slid on its way out. It's long.
And some of that, you know, fire and emotion that we have to talk about often with Rafa Hewett, I think some of that has turned a bit more negative than positive to start game 3.
Blistering backhand again, a couple of them for Rafa Hewett. Connor Garnett's okay, looks like he dinged up his hand.
You know, crazy that Connor was even able to get to that ball. But yeah, the emotion of Rafa Hewett will be there. How much will be positive and how much will be negative? That's going to say a lot about this game 3.
Side out. Four, 1.
Great shot by Connor Garnett.
And I think the shot before the passing shot was the most impressive to me. He was in trouble and he was able to neutralize with a nice
5-1.
one-handed backhand slice drop into the kitchen.
Side out.
Just trying to stab that drop volley was Connor Garnett. Caught the tape. Very nice passing shot from Rafa Hewett to force him into that position, though.
Side out.
Just a little hobbled. Rafa Hewett had a really nice look at that forehand volley, but not sure exactly what happened, but walking a little gimpy after that.
Yeah, you're right.
5-1. Side out.
Nice work from Rafa Hewett, staying tight to the kitchen line. Connor Garnett trying to roll that ball with a short angle. Sailed on him.
Point.
There's that flat backhand again.
Rock solid this ball. Entire match.
Two different styles of getting it done. A lot more topspin from Connor Garnett on the 2E.
That forehand's pretty wicked for Rafa, too.
Yeah, that's a huge inside-out approach from Rafa Hewitt. Best way to come forward is not even to have to hit a volley.
3-5. Side out.
There's a little pump up from Connor Garnett too. A little come on. Not necessarily his style. He knows how important this moment is though.
5-3.
And I like that decision from Connor to
6-3.
For his first ever in singles title on the PPA Tour. Last time he was at a final was against Federico Staksrud, the Atlanta Open in 2022. Wow, what a play by Rafa Hewett.
That is absolutely nasty. On the full run while sliding, he is able to hit a flat cross-court angle. Rafa Hewett, what a shot.
3-6. Side out.
Rafa takes a little off of his serve, and Connor Garnett finds a nice return deep in the court.
6-3. Side
Deep
out.
for Connor Garnett, who gives it right back.
3-6. Side out.
Big backhand from Connor Garnett.
Yeah, you have to be careful when you hit those cross-court volleys from the kitchen line because you open up the court for your opponent. And that's exactly what happened there to Rafa Hewett. Not in a great position to hit the second volley.
Point.
Rafa sliding again. I think it was a good decision to mix it up because that couple points ago he had tried to go cross-court. This time he tries to go the line, but couldn't come up with it.
Point.
Now that's twice in the last couple points that Rafa Hewett has hit a volley right at the kitchen line, and then his next volley has been well deeper in the court. So there's a special situation where you can retreat from the kitchen line once you're up there, but I don't think that that is something that is sustainable. You have to hold that line and command the kitchen once you decide to come up there.
Side out.
Rafa looking up to the heavens, very happy that that ball did not come over and caught the tape.
3-8. Side out.
Garnett recovers the serve.
And he has a very determined look on his face, does Connor Garnett. And it kind of went from jovial to very serious throughout this match, and I love to see that focus from him.
Point.
Timeout and a very light paddle toss from Rafa Hewett over into that carpeted area that he was not thrilled with earlier. So I guess it softens the blow for your paddle. So that's one good thing about the carpet there on the sides. But this has been, as I was just mentioning before that point, just laser focus from Connor. He is really not let up at all. Just one or two unforced errors sprinkled in this game 3, but it's been very clean from him. And you can see with the score line that he's been rewarded for that cleanliness.
Yeah, and for Rafa Hewett, great result still to make it to the semifinal, but it has to hurt to get this close if you're going to surrender it here in game 3 to Connor Garnett.
Certainly, and really that's been the difference is Rafa's just been on the run a little bit more than Connor Garnett has in game 3. So, a couple really quality shots early in the point, first or second shot from Rafa Hewett, but when it's been handled from Connor and he has taken control of that point, Rafa has been in some very off-balance situations trying to come up with shots.
Side out.
Nice work from Rafa Hewett, working the point from the back of the court, finding a good opportunity to come forward.
A couple of outfit changes now.
Yes.
New hat.
Oh yeah, so third shirt, second hat. Do what you got to do, brother. That was a tough one, kind of a delayed come in there. Rafa Hewett hit the ball, was gonna stay back, decided to come forward, and then ends up hitting a shot from the midcourt.
Wow.
That is just nasty, Michelle. I mean, he is 7 or 8 feet behind the baseline as Connor Garnett, and he still comes up with that quality of the ball.
Match point and a chance to advance to Championship Sunday for Connor Garnett, and he will. Off a big serve, 11-3 is the finish of Game 3, and Connor Garnett back into the final, looking for his 3rd championship in men's singles.
Yeah, great performance from Connor. Big opportunity here. Giving the fans a shout out, clapping the hand of his buddy Tyler Leung, his MLP teammate. Just good stuff from CG.
CG and Tui Nation back into the final, and we will speak with Connor Garnett on the other side to see how he's feeling heading into another final. Welcome back to the Picklr Utah Open at this men's singles semi-final matchup. Connor Garnett moving on to yet another championship Sunday. 3 games it required to get the win over Rafa Hewett. Connor joins us now to talk about it. Connor, what was the difference maker for you with laser focus in this match to come away with a grindy win over a player like Rafa Hewett?
Yeah, I mean, Rafa, you know, when he's having a deep run, his passing shots are top tier, and so you just have to weather the storm, be out there, bring a lot of energy. He always has a big battle out there. I mean, I think he upset Alshon in Kansas City, so he can play, and he's always there to play. So I just had to stay strong and just get through it.
Connor, phenomenal work to get that done and move on to another Championship Sunday. I asked who you will be facing on Championship Sunday a question just about the preparation and the practice for singles. So I was wondering, for you, kind of what are the percentages of gym work, drilling, and match play when you're getting ready for a singles tournament?
I can't disclose that, Adam. No, I'm just kidding. I would say that singles is such a physical sport, so you got to make sure you're in the gym, doing a lot of recovery. The recovery is where I've been really focusing on lately, making sure that after a long day like this, I get stretched out, get worked on, make sure the body's feeling good. But gym's super important, and then obviously just a lot of reps of passing shots and volleys is key as well.
Connor, you got your first gold here on the Carvana PPA Tour in April this season, got your second in Kansas City. Obviously, a long ways to go against Fed, but what would a third mean, or even just to get to a final, mean now with today's stacked talent?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just stoked to be in a final. I mean, there's so many great competitors in these fields, and I mean, after April, I think I was away from a podium in singles for a while, so just being able to get back and do a second Championship Sunday in a row is just awesome, and I'm looking forward to fighting for that gold against Federico, who's going to bring it for sure tomorrow or Sunday, so I'm excited.
All right, Connor Garnett moving on to the final. Congratulations, Connor. Another great performance from you and Tui Nation. Coming up next, we change to women's singles. Zoe Wong taking on Caitlin Christian for our next semifinal matchup. You don't want to miss it. Stick around.